Navigating the slick pavement carefully, I swam through the mid-afternoon crowd, mostly women and a few men too old or broken for service, who were waiting in line at the Red Cross canteen truck for coffee, or making their way between government buildings and the makeshift tent offices that lined the mall. Brushing the raindrops from my overcoat, I slid under the awning that shielded the security booth outside the Department of State building, pausing to fumble for my press pass. The guard eyed me incredulously as he scrutinized my credentials. Ignoring him, I gazed up at the White House, pale against the stormy gray clouds. Something moved on the roof above. The swivel of an anti-aircraft gun pointed upward. My heart skipped. Washington was a city occupied not just by the thousands who had come here to work, but by the army that defended it as though the Germans might at any moment descend from the sky. Lowering my eyes, I caught a wistful glimpse of my disheveled reflection in the window of the guard booth. I'd left the rooming house in good form to a sky that, if not sunny, had certainly not suggested this downpour. Arriving at the post, I expected a day like most I'd had these past few months, typing stories from shorthand notes on a Remington at a desk barely wide enough to hold it, pressed close to a dozen other girls. I didn't mind. I needed work, and I was grateful that my high school secretarial course had qualified me for it. Though it would have paid a few dollars more, I had dreaded the prospect of working as one of the government girls at the War Department. I couldn't bear to endlessly type letters telling families that their sons were not coming home, seeing Charlie's face in each of them. During my first few months at the news bureau, the work had been quiet and predictable. But one afternoon, nearly 2 weeks ago, a man with his sleeves rolled up had opened the door to the steno pool.
"Italian?"
he bellowed. A cloud of cigarette smoke appeared before him as he exhaled, making him seem a gray-haired dragon. The room fell silent. Chip Steeves, managing editor at the Washington Post, never came into the typing room.
"My secretary is out and I need someone to call a translator."
Impulsively, I raised my hand. Then I looked around. I was the only one, and I started to lower it. But Mr. Steeves was already weaving his way through the desks, descending upon me.
"You can find me someone to translate Italian?"
He spoke through the cigar stub clenched between his teeth. "No." I looked at him squarely. "I can do it myself." He eyed me for several seconds, his face a scowl.
"Well, come on,"
he barked impatiently, as though I and not he had hesitated. I could feel the eyes of the other typists on me as I walked from the room.
"Monteforte, isn't it?"
he asked, surprising me as we entered his office. The desk was covered in piles of papers, the floor littered with dirty coffee cups. "Yes," I cleared my throat. That is, Adelia." He didn't introduce himself. He didn't need to. Chip Steeves was legendary as journalist and terror.
"You're the girl who caught that mistake in the U-boat story."
I straightened slightly. My job was only to type articles, not proofread them. I had seen an error in one of the stories, though. A date that I knew from my own reading was wrong. I had pointed it out to Mr. Steeves' secretary, who oversaw the typists. But I did not know that the message had been passed on, or that I had received credit.
"That was good work. You speak Italian?"
"Yes. I was born in Trieste." Being foreign-born was not something that one announced loudly these days, and I'd worked hard to remove all trace of an accent. This might be the first time it was an asset. He thrust out a pen as if he might hit me with it, and I fought the urge to cower.
"Well, translate this, Adelia Monteforte."
I took the paper he offered and moved an overflowing ashtray from the nearest chair, then perched on it and scrawled the translation hurriedly. It was a cable about a skirmish that had taken place near Salerno, brief but with a few military terms I wasn't quite sure I'd gotten right. When I finished, I handed it back to Mr. Steeves, who scanned the page.
"This is good,"